Hi folks, welcome back. Did you ever go out in your shop and look around and just feel overwhelmed with projects? I live that way. Take this table for instance. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 projects sitting on top of this table, which is needed for the next project. I've got a man sending in a 4-foot straight edge that he wants treated and planed, and I got to get down to the bottom of this. Can't none of this be here. So I'm out here on a Sunday trying to clear off the table a little bit, if you will. And I just came back from Lowe's. I got so dadgum tired of never being able to find razor blade knives. But I went and bought a bunch of them. Then I got to thinking, well, how will you ever know when you lose which one or what? So I'm going to put a number on it. Could stamp it in there, but I think this will be okay for a while. Probably last as long as till I lose it. The old ones get the first numbers. They deserve it. They've hung around the longest. You know, these things have been around forever. Cobalt's using the same design Stanley has. I couldn't even find a Stanley while I was there. Anyway, once I get these numbered, we'll go on to something else. And something else has been a project that I've been needing to do for about 4 or 5 years now. And the time has come. Okay, one thing's finished. 4,324 to go. I'm going to keep old number 8 in my pocket for a while. And these others are going to get scattered through the toolbox. Now, the next project I want to take care of has to do with this old machine right over there. This is a Brown and Sharpe number 13 tool grinder. This one is the old one where the spindle is driven off the same motor down in the bottom. The newer ones, they've got an electric motor up on the spindle. I've seriously considered getting rid of this one since I now have the Cincinnati Millicron new model tool and grinder. But this one does something that the other one won't. It's got a really nice motorized spindle that I can turn shafts between 2 points, and the bed is automatic back and forth. So I decided to go ahead and fix it and keep it. The only thing it needs is a leather belt. Now, I have a friend that made me this one up as a test article so that we could determine the correct length of the belt. Can y'all see me down there? There, that's better. When he made it up for me, he just put some, I guess you'd call it a lap joint in it. And Don and I threaded it through the machine and figured out what length it needed to be. Turned it on, and boy, the spindle worked great for about 4.3 seconds. Should have seen Don jump. Anyway, I decided to build my own belt. There's a man on the internet that'll make your belts for you and send it in, but what kind of fun is that? So the first thing I needed was a source of leather. When I got this one, it was running. I'm going to take you over here and show you what I've been doing. Since Don is an old leather worker. He said that I should go up to Tandy Leather and get some leather strips, which I did. And these have been hanging with a weight on them to stretch them for a long time now. Those suckers they're not going anywhere. When I first put this weight on them, boy, they would go up and down like a yo-yo. This is the old belt that came with it. It was too short. I don't know who put it on, but it just was too short. It wouldn't let the spindle on the grinding spindle get up to full speed. Well, I pulled these off the weights, and they were pretty good. Now, my friend just took and put them over like this and glued them. The correct way is to have and that was only temporary. The correct way is to have a tapered joint about 4 inches long so that it maintains the constant thickness. That's called a scarf. My problem is I've been around machines too long, and Don says just get a little scarfing knife and just go after it, and things like that just bother me. I know it doesn't make a bunch of difference, but I would like to do it a different way. Get old number 8 out of my pocket. I'm going to cut off this part that was under the clamp and wasn't really stretched. Now, to get a piece of leather long enough, I had to buy 2 strips. And today I'm going to take and glue up one of them, and then I'll measure it and cut the other one after a couple days, and then I can put it on the machine and we'll take and glue the other part on the machine. It's going to be hard getting it down. When I first started, I left the old belt on it, and I tied a piece of cable to it, and I pulled the old belt out, and the cable went through and threaded through all the pulleys correctly. And then when it broke, I lost my pull string. So now I'm going to have to take apart the electrical cabinet on that machine a little bit so I can get in back behind it. The way the machine works is it's got a counterweight on the very back, and the pulleys right now are almost straight up. They don't really put any weight on it. And so whoever put it together last time made the belt too short. The pulleys need to be over a little bit so the weight starts. It's balanced right on top. And if you take a stick and push down on the pulleys, the spindle come up to speed. So that's how I knew it was too short. But my problem is I need to put a nice scarf joint on this. Don says just whittle it and it'll be fine. I just can't do that. So I've been thinking of ways for a while to make a scarf joint without spending $150 on the machine. And what I'm going to try today involves these 2 little builder's wedges. You buy these at Home Depot or wherever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Gorilla mounting tape, mount this to the board with the belt in between it, and then shave it down using this as a guide. And hopefully I'll make a nice even cut. I tried it before using one of my big razor blades. I don't think it'll work that well. It just didn't cut really nice. So that's what we're going to try. Number 8's getting a workout already. I've never used any of this Gorilla Glue double-sided tape. Holds 38 pounds, 1 pound per 4 inches. Okay. What I'm going to do is put a piece of this on here. I'm going to put another piece in the middle on the board to hold the belt in place. I need to hurry because I turned the air conditioners off so that you guys could hear. I'll start right there. That'll work. And we'll use the belt as a shim. I'm going to leave it a little bit wide so I don't to account for the different widths of the belt. It may be a little bit stretched out on one and not as much on the other, so maybe my wife should come out here and show me a trick or two. I'm 64. And just about a year ago, she told me how to get those bags in the grocery store open. You wet your fingers, and then they come right open. Who knew? Probably every woman in America. All right, come on. I hate to make this the longest video in history. Just as a guide. Line that up and down there. And I'm just going to put it right there. There we go. All right. I know this thing isn't going to stay there for me. Don's doing okay, for those of you that have been asking about him. He came over yesterday and was very kind and helped me run some 50 amp wire out to my RV. It's kind of hard pulling it through the conduit by yourself. In return, I bribed him with some Fuegos, which is a taco stand in College Station. Pretty good stuff. Now Don came over and we sat there and stayed outside. Don does not need to get COVID. No way, no how. So, we stayed outside and stayed apart from each other 12 feet. I know, CDC says 6 feet's enough. The other 6 feet were from the smell. And it may or may not have been my smell, I don't remember. All right, I'm gonna just for the heck of it see if that'll work, and that didn't even take a bite. This is a very sharp floor scraper. Now this has been laying on the table for a while. This is a super skiver from Tandy Leather. Now it's a little razor blade holder that's got a curved razor blade. You see that? And this is beveled or curved, I guess. And it allows you to get a little bit better bite than this did. So what I'm going to do is take and try to use these two things as a guide. Now right here is about 4 inches. Let's see how this works. Figured I would go down the edges and then take out the middle. It has a grain. Of course the leather has a grain, but I wanted to do better if I did it like this. I think so. Now, let's see if I can drag that end off. Just a little bit high right in there. Oh, number 8, there it is. It's a little bit right there on the tip. All right. Taper. Get to do it all over again. You leather workers are probably laughing your butts off at me, but that's okay. This is how I learn stuff. Does not have as much taper as this side does. This side had only started cutting about right there, whereas this side goes to here. I don't like that. Well, wonder why. Right there, it's flush. That blade just don't want to cut very well. I wonder if the blade is dull. Try this again. Well, that's much sharper. It's going to be good. Well, the next part of this operation is gluing that joint together. Now, I went to the internet and read all kinds of things about what you should use, and frankly, I decided to go to the leather store and ask them. And they looked at me and go, I don't know. Well, this is contact cement from Tanner's Bond, and it's supposed to work. So I have to apply an even coat to both surfaces, allow it to dry till tacky regular contact cement stuff. You know, contact cement is used for lots of things. Used it for years for my countertops. Got the board here. And I'm going to use that edge to make sure it's lined up right. So I got a longer board. Put a liberal coat on. This coat on this side. Well, this is some of the good stuff. Whew. All right. While we're waiting on that to dry, I didn't know if you'd noticed earlier, but the tool master is still up in the air waiting on a repair part. And it's getting dry pretty quick. This is the repair part I need to do. I think this needs to be taken care of first, so let me get it and I'll show you that. I'll put you over here and put a weight on you so you don't go anywhere. This. Now it is tacky. Okay. 4 inches. Like welding bandsaws together, you want to make sure they're straight. All right. Now we can get that off the desk and let it dry for a while and come back to it.